For the past 25 years, my work at Fine Home Building has taken me on job site visits all over the country. I recently visited one of the most innovative job sites that I've seen in my career in Austin, Texas, where a partnership between Lennar, one of our biggest home builders, and Icon, one of the country's most interesting, is about to complete 12 new neighborhood homes. Homes that will surely stand out, even among the eclectic styles in the mixed use Muller community where they're being built. Super eager to see a house being printed for myself, it was still dark when I pulled into the neighborhood. The site was abuzz with energy, but quiet and calm. As I got closer, I realized that the gantry-style printer was already at work, laying down beads of the company's proprietary printable concrete. As morning sunlight bent over the horizon, the process came into clear view. The Icon employees I spoke with for an article that I wrote with fellow building and architecture journalist Lauren Jones were pretty forthcoming about everything from their history to their goals to the way they build houses. But if they were closed lipped about anything, it was their concrete mix and how they mix it. The short story is that mixing happens on site. The concrete dry mix arrives in bags, it's loaded into a hopper, it's mixed in a trailer that sits on the road just in front of the building site, and it's pumped to the printer. While I don't know exactly what's in their concrete mix, I will talk a little bit more about it later. The printer's robotic and works on GPS. The printer operators align it with monuments established on site and let it run from there. The operators I observed seem pretty trusting of the printer, though they still keep a pretty close eye on it. It's much easier to fix a mistake while the concrete is wet than after it cures, and they do have some manual work to do along the way. Two particular tasks are installing ties that connect to the interior and exterior beads of concrete that create the hollow walls, and cutting and preparing penetrations for electrical and plumbing, which also makes sense to do while the concrete is still wet. They also place steel lintels over rough openings and bolts for ledgers and other structural needs in the walls as printing's happening. The hollow wall cavities will later hold electrical and plumbing runs and eventually be filled with injectable foam insulation. The printer also creates columns, which will later be grouted. Inside the columns, rebar connects the walls to the slab on grade foundation, and point loads are carried from the second floor framing and roofs to the foundation. If you're wondering, the columns are not full width, so the walls are thermally broken pretty much everywhere that I saw. By the time you're seeing this video, the gantry-style printers I saw at work may be outdated. As fast as they work, the setup is cumbersome and they can only print a single-story home. Second floors on these houses were stick-framed. The next generation of printers, which were about to roll out when I last spoke with the folks at Icon, will be on mobile bases and able to print much taller buildings. Icon homes have a unique look. The concrete beads are round and the printer prefers curves to 90-degree angles, so the homes appear soft and textured. And they can't print decorative patterns and integrate color into the concrete, so there are possibilities for designers to be creative. The houses I saw are designed by Michael Swee, Office of Architecture, but they have examples of pretty unique designs from partnerships with the Bajarki Ingalls Group and Lake Flato. Both of these teams have designed projects that have been successfully printed and sold. One obvious benefit of a concrete home is resilience. In an area where wildfires are common, or hurricane-prone areas where high winds often throw the death punch of windborne debris through walls, a printed concrete home may be the right alternative to stick-framed construction. And yet, these aren't Icon's goals. Their goal is affordability. And on projects like the one I visited, they told me they are meeting their goals, often coming in about 30% lower construction costs than similar market rate homes. They pass those savings on to homeowners. It's all pretty interesting, but there is an elephant in the room. Unfortunately, for all its strength and workability, concrete is generally a climate catastrophe. We asked Chris Magwood of the Rocky Mountain Institute about this. Chris told us that Portland cement is responsible for about 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and the only sure solution is to reduce the amount of concrete used in a home. However, he also said that there are ways to reduce the climate impact of the concrete we do use, and the folks at Icon are working on that. They claim to have reduced embodied carbon by about 24% in their current Carbon X concrete. Again, it's a proprietary mix, so we don't know exactly how they're achieving these reductions. They have partnered with MIT on a study that shows how their projects perform overall when it comes to embodied carbon. But for more on that, you'll have to read the article, which you can do by picking up a copy of our February March issue or logging on to findhomebuilding.com.